Getaway. Interior, squalid bedroom, evening. The room is a trash dump with bags of garbage piled in one corner, a bucket to catch leaks in the middle of the room, a mattress on the ground with a sleeping bag for blankets. This is not a place you go, this is a place you end up. Laurel, 26, looks out a moth-eaten curtain. She looks like a dreamer who has been beaten too many times to not be cynical. A siren sounds in the distance and gets slowly louder. Laurel freezes up. Then the noise fades and she lets out a sigh. She turns to look around the room. Ronnie, 30, sits on a beaten-up sofa eating greasy takeaway food. He looks like someone who used to be handsome until the world fucked him over. Now he looks hollow. He doesn't meet Laurel's eye. Laurel huffs.
When's Hank coming?
Ronnie carries on like she didn't speak. Laurel kicks the bed frame.
What time Hank's coming?
I don't know. He'll call.
He better be here soon.
Ronnie slams his hand down on the table. Laurel and Ronnie stare at each other. Laurel looks away first. Ronnie keeps watching her. She looks back out the curtain.
Come away from the window.
Laurel ignores him. His expression softens.
Laurel.
Laurel stiffens to him. He sighs and gets off the sofa and joins her at the window, wrapping his arms around her.
What are you worried about, eh?
Laurel ignores him and rebuffs a kiss he tries to land on her neck.
You can tell me.
Laurel thinks for a moment.
It's this life, Ronnie. I thought we were through with this. But here we are again.
We needed the money, baby. And this job will hold us over.
You said that about the last job.
Laurel stares deeply into his eyes. Ronnie goes to speak, but his cell phone rings. He answers it.
Hello?
Ronnie walks across the room and paces. He nods along to the voice on the other end of the line, and then...
Don't fuck with me.
Ronnie loses his temper and starts to act erratically.
That's not what we agreed, Hank. It was your responsibility. You're fucking us, Hank. Yeah, I'm not cutting you in on another job.
Ronnie hangs up the phone with force.
Fuck!
Ronnie, exasperatedly, runs his hands through his hair roughly. He swings around wildly, then suddenly he slams his hands down onto the coffee table.
Fuck!
His anger deflates, and we see him break a little. He looks vulnerable. Laurel hovers.
What we are going to do?
I'll find someone else to.
Laurel rolls her eyes. Ronnie strides over to her aggressively. He grabs Laurel's face in his hand, pulling it up to look at him.
I said I'll find someone. Okay.
Laurel doesn't say anything. Ronnie folds. He leans his forehead against hers.
I'll find someone. Okay.
Laurel nods and wraps her hand around Ronnie. They slowly sink into each other. Interior, motel room, evening. Laurel is asleep on the bed alone. She reaches out to the empty side. She opens her eyes to see Ronnie sitting on the sofa. They lock eyes.
Hey.
Hey, did you find someone?
Ronnie gets off the sofa and sits on the edge of the bed. Laurel wraps herself around him.
Yeah, Dave's on his way. Drove a steeper bargain than what Hank was asking, but we don't really have a choice now, do we? I should have known better than to trust Hank. Well, I'll remember that for next time.
Laurel leans back on the bed.
Next time?
Ronnie pauses, turns to look at her.
Don't start that shit again, Laurel.
I can't keep doing this, Ronnie.
Ronnie jumps off the bed.
No one is asking you to, Laurel.
You do! Every time!
Because you always say yes.
I can't say no to you, Ronnie!
Take some agency for yourself, woman. Stop blaming me for dragging you into this shithole of a life.
Laurel starts crying. Ronnie is taken aback.
I can't say no, knowing if you don't come home, it will be because I wasn't there for you.
Ronnie goes to her. He embraces her. She sinks into his arms.
You know I'd do anything for you.
So would I. I love you, babe. I would take a bullet for you.
I know.
They stay entwined. This moment should last forever. The sound of a car pulling up outside interrupts them. Ronnie gets off the bed and looks out the window. Laurel sits frozen on the bed. Then Ronnie turns back to her and pauses. Ronnie rushes over to the other side of the bed, reaches under the bed, grabbing out a small duffel bag and opens it to reveal bags of cocaine. After a moment of digging, Ronnie brings up a handgun. He checks it's loaded and puts it in his pants behind his back.
Come on, babe. We've got to go.
Laurel, who is sat frozen on the bed, looks to Ronnie. She doesn't even blink. She's so paralysed by fear.
Where?
We will figure that out later. We need to move.
Laurel shakes her head.
They will find us, Ronnie. They will catch us.
Ronnie climbs back onto the bed and grabs Laurel's face, forcing her to look at him.
No, they won't. I'll protect you.
We could turn ourselves in. Maybe then...
Maybe what? Hey? They'll lock us away. I won't be able to see you.
Ronnie presses their foreheads together, running his fingers through her hair.
You could say it was all you and Hank, that I had no idea what you were doing.
Ronnie lets go of Laurel with force, almost a push. He gets off the bed in a tiff.
You would have me go to jail for you.
Laurel's eyes beg him. They hold like this for a moment, neither folding. Footsteps sound on the stair outside the door. Ronnie snaps to it. He spins the sofa away from the wall and hides behind the back of it. Laurel's frozen on the bed, fully exposed. Ronnie's eyes flash from the door to Laurel for half a second before his hand flies out and grabs her arm, pulling her behind the sofa with him. Ronnie and Laurel shelter behind the sofa, waiting, listening. It's so quiet you can hear a pin drop. There's a creak of the door opening. We don't see who enters. We stay focused on the room, on Laurel and Ronnie, hiding out of sight. This is their story. Ronnie takes a few deep breaths and pokes his head out to fire, missing. 2 shots come firing back. One hits Ronnie in the shoulder. He falls to the ground, dropping the gun. Laurel gasps. She grabs Ronnie and pulls him closer. Ronnie moans in protest. Footsteps creak on the floor. Laurel eyes the gun. Laurel grabs the gun. Without thinking, she pops up from behind the sofa and points it at the intruder. Without even getting a shot off, she's shot down. This time they don't injure. A bullet finds its way home into her skull. She falls to the floor, unmoving, eyes glazed. A pool of blood grows around her.
Happy.